What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the In the Round podcast. It's your boy, Matt Burrill. Got to tell you all real quick about our friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, Big Friendly Productions, BFP, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and even lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can produce shirts, branded hats, and more, as well as offer graphic design services. Very important stuff here. You know, they offer order fulfillment to handle your online orders and ship merch directly to your fans. They handle all of that stuff for you. And whether you're getting your first shirt or you're going on a 40-show run out on the road, hit them up for all your merchandising needs. Check them out, bigfriendlyproductions.com, or email them merchandising@bigfriendlyproductions.com. Shout out to BFP, Alex, Paige, and the crew down there. We support them and love them here at In the Round, and we appreciate their support. Y'all be sure to check them out. Also, rate, like, subscribe to the pod. Now let's get into today's episode. Well, how you doing, girl? You doing well?
I'm doing so good.
We're happy to have you on. It's always cool because there's some episodes and some guests where the management teams or whatever will pitch to us and be like, hey, have so and so on, and like you have to do all this research because you don't know the guy or the girl that's coming out. But it's like, you're one of my best freaking friends in town, so it's super cool to be doing this. You have a good weekend? Easter was good?
So good. Yeah, it was super busy. One of my best friends got engaged. So that was super fun.
What'd you guys do? How was the proposal?
It was so exciting because she has no idea. She's been for like the last month. Every time we get together, she's like, I just don't think he's gonna do it, and I'm like, yeah, he sucks. Like, he's not gonna. I'm like, I can't say anything.
So you were in on the proposal. How did they do it?
So we all met up as like just a parking lot, and we drove over together, and we were in this barn, and I think she was supposed to do a wine tasting or something like that, and they opened the barn doors, and we were all there, and he was on the knee, and it was so good. I loved it. It was like, it was fun. She had no idea.
Now, is that a friend from back home that lives here, or somebody that you've met?
No, someone I met in Nashville who's just become a really good friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's a fun. Then did you guys go to Broadway or go out to Midtown to celebrate after?
No, we just stayed in that barn and just hung out there all night.
I'm not leaving. That's the best way.
It was so nice outside. It was perfect. Yeah, it was great.
That's the best way to do it, because sometimes those, like when a good thing happens, like that celebratory moment.
Yeah.
Midtown for let's go for one drink can turn into a marathon.
Right.
On Broadway or in Midtown. So you've been in town for how long now?
2 years. I just hit 2 years in January.
Dude, congrats.
It's crazy. It's flying by. It's weird. I can't believe it. Yeah. It's already April.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
it's already April, and I mean, if you like, we're getting into the beginning of when everybody's getting out there doing shows. Yep. We've got Nashville's booming again for all the folks like the play downtown, which you've done before in the past.
I'm going after this.
Really?
I am. Yeah.
What are you playing at?
Just Cerveza Jax is acoustic duo, but yeah, I still gotta make the money.
Yeah, you gotta pay. But there's something to be said about doing that grind that makes it worth it, especially when you have things happen that have been happening to you recently, which it's cool, because I think when we first met, I think it was through Colby Williford, your longtime hometown buddy, your bestie. Yes. It was through Colby, and then through Reed Morris.
Yep.
And it was and you were just coming out to the round, and I was like, oh, who's this girl? She's really sweet. She seems awesome. No, and then and I was like, I just thought you were just another girl that moved to Nashville. I didn't even know you did music.
Yeah.
And then we started putting you on the rounds, and
so fun.
And it's cool to kind of watch you grow. So
yeah, it's been wild. So 2 years, and then I moved here and worked at Buckle. Actually, that was my first job.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was working there in Charlotte, and they transferred me, and I couldn't do anything. I wasn't making enough money for rent, and my parents are super supportive. But they're big on, like, if this is what you want to do, then you have to pave your own way and figure it out. So all the rent and all my bills were in my name, and it got a little overwhelming. But started doing the Broadway and closing down there like 5 nights a week, which was nuts. That was a crazy normal to have.
And coming from Carolina, like the bar band thing is big out there. So you already had some reps in you from back home in the Charlotte area or going down along the coast. What's the difference of the vibe of, like, say, playing, like, Isle of Palms, like the Windjammer, or playing Myrtle Beach compared to Broadway? Because they're similar in that it is.
Broadway's a lot more demanding with the people.
Really?
I mean, yeah, everybody, they want to hear a song that's like, you better figure it out. Like, it's not it's your show, but it's the people's show when you're on Broadway, and it's making other people happy, and you might play Before He Cheats 5 times. It would never surprise me. It's awful.
What's your least favorite one to cover?
Probably that one was a big one. It just was so repetitive every single time. Like, somebody's going to do it. Whenever there's these drunk girls come in, you know it's about to happen. Or the guys that want to impress the drunk girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys that are like, hey, what song do you want to hear? And
every time.
And do all that. And have you kind of had like a consistent group of like players when you do the full band gigs down there? Or do you kind of rotate? Because getting into that scene is interesting.
Yeah, I just met someone who played down there and kind of became friends, and then found a guy who needed a fill-in one night when played, and he was like, hey, we need someone full-time. So I just joined with him.
Where was that gig at?
It was at Rippy's.
Yeah. Okay, so you were on the Tootsie circuit.
I was doing the Tootsie circuit.
Steve Smith Survivor.
I survived.
Yeah, because I mean it's rough. So many people. Like I have some friends right now, and it's kind of fun now that I think about it. It is a lot of younger females that go into that Tootsie's, Rippy's, Honky Tonk, Kid Rock circuit, and it's because it's the multi-level. Like, have you ever done like doubles and triples down there?
Oh yeah.
How do you condition your voice for that?
I don't even know. It's awful. You get home and you're like, why did I just do this? Like, this is brutal. But I mean, you have to pay your bills. It's like, what are you gonna do?
And it's making money doing
and you
music.
make great money. And honestly, like, I don't miss it. And of course, like here and there I'll go do a gig because I still need to pay bills. And the exposure is great because you're getting people from all over the place coming in all the time and new faces every time we play. But there's been a lot of cool things that came out of it. Like I went to Guam, which was really cool.
Dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to
Guam. Did you not know this?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. There's been a lot of crazy things. I played, it was October, I think it's October, September of 2021. And this lady from Guam came in with like all her friends, Anne Marie, and she was tipping us good. And then, we started talking. She's like, have you ever been to Guam? And I'm like, no, like, what even is that? And then
where is that?
She tipped me Blake Shelton tickets. And I was like, oh, they're probably like nosebleeds. And we went, we were like 4th row of Blake Shelton the next night. And she's like, you should come to Guam. And I'm like, okay, I'm very good with the flow. So I ended up going to Guam for a week and staying with her. And it was amazing. Like, I want to live on an island one day so bad. And it was crazy. It was so fun. And got to be good friends with her. And then, like, we've gone to New York City with her on a trip once and her friends. And then I just went again this past January. But
dude,
I'm just like, it's great. I'll go there and like play shows. I went to a reggae festival last time.
Reggae festival has to be dope down there, especially.
Amazing.
What a like of all the places to experience that, for it to be an island setting.
It was in a baseball field too, and it was raining and muddy. like
Woodstock shit.
It was wild. It was so fun.
Who were you down there with? You just went?
Some friends. At that time, I went with Blake Beaver, who was my photographer at that time. And I was like, my whole brand has turned into Stay Wild Child. And I was like, we got to do it. It's Guam. So we went for the week, and it was so fun.
That's awesome. I mean, just the getting tipped Blake Shelton, like high-level tickets.
Yeah, it's been crazy. That I had heard. I go play every year now for a guy who used to play for the Broncos. And I met him at Tootsie's, and we've gotten to be good friends. Like, I went to Red Rocks with him to see Zach Bryan.
I remember you posting that.
Yeah.
Was that the snow? Yeah. The snowy one?
It was wild. That was my first time at Red Rocks, so that was pretty nuts. That was crazy. I looked like I had black eyes. I'm like crying, and it's raining, and it's snowing. Like,
how crazy are his shows? Because they're like kind of mellow, but like I feel
the energy was unreal.
I haven't seen him live yet.
Yeah, it was so good. And I mean, I feel like the weather and the atmosphere and where we were probably added a lot to it as well. But
is it like a big sing along, like a Garth Brooks concert where it's just a sing along at this point?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was pretty magical. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't sure how I was gonna be, but it was awesome. Was
that your first time out to Colorado, or had you been out there before?
I had been there when I was super little, but I don't remember going. It was fun. I road tripped it. And
you road tripped it?
Yeah, I took the Bronco. I was like, all right, let's do this.
We have that in common because I've road tripped to Colorado, driving a bus, not a personal vehicle.
My little car. We drove. I'm very spontaneous. You know this about me.
Wild child. You're Brook Lee. This is what you
fits
do.
the brand. People are like, you say that and like you dress like it, but are you really? And I'm like, sit down for 10 minutes. Let me tell you some crazy things that we've done. But yeah, I road tripped it. I went to St. Louis and like met a mutual friend while I was there. And then like on my way back, I ended up spending the night with her. Like just met her, but she was really cool. And like on the way, it was a sunrise and I was super tired. I'd driven all night. So I like, pulled over and went swimming in someone's, I don't know if it was private property or not, somewhere in Kansas, and like took a dive and just kept going. It was so fun.
You are the wild child.
I'm
like this,
whatever.
This is not an act. Like this is what Brook Lee does. Like that's
very real.
So how long was the trip getting out there? Because you made some stops, which is awesome.
Yeah, on the way there, it was only like 2 days. It wasn't crazy. We only stopped. I don't know that we stopped. I don't think I stopped at all. I mean, I like slept in the car a little bit, but that was it. I went with my friend Josh on the way there. So we went back and forth. And when I left Colorado, I was supposed to come back to Nashville, and I was like, I haven't seen family in Oklahoma in a while. So from Colorado, I just drove to Oklahoma for like 2 days. I'd never been to Texas, so I drove to Texas, went to Dallas, and then back to St. Louis, and then went to Atlanta for a Luke Combs concert, and then to Nashville. It was wild.
All driving?
All driving, and I didn't get a ticket until I was going to Atlanta.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Like I went all the way across the map, and I got a speeding ticket there. And I was coming from St. Louis, and he was like, "Did you make a wrong turn or something? You're from Nashville." And I'm like, "No, it's not
no.
Yeah, it's just making me look like an idiot."
Touring's gonna come very easy for you.
I'm so excited. Yeah,
because that right there is what a tour looks like, but not as much driving. And you're starting to get out there and do more shows and stuff, right?
It's been fun. Yeah, it's starting to pick up a little bit more. We're right now just trying to get the songs. It's been weird because before I moved here, I played every weekend, like 2 or 3 shows. Yeah. And it was so normal. Like I started my band when I was 15 and did all classic rock and everything.
What was the name of the band? Was it Brook Lee?
7 Days Band. And I don't know why.
7 Days Band.
It's never been able to be explained. I just come up with something on the spot. But
what kind of music were you guys singing
all
at
classic
15?
rock. Like my first cover was Led Zeppelin.
No shit.
Yeah, my mic was turned off and I was wearing a sweater and I like just didn't move and was screaming it. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. There's a rock band back home called Blue Monday that I've just always looked up to, and I would sneak into bars when I was like 13, 14 to go watch them. I was like, this is what I want to do. And she really inspired me. I had my first show and like I remember she came out and she took my mic stand and put it at the back of the bar and she's like, figure it out, but you got to do something other than standing there. And from there on, I mean, full band's been my thing. I love it. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's been an adjustment because now I'm in town. I'm not playing near as much, which is super weird for me. But it's starting to pick up more, and hopefully we're gonna start getting some songs out soon. We're kind of in the talks of it.
Well, I've been seeing it on Facebook. I'm a loyal follower of Brook Lee music.
That's when you know you're a real one.
Yeah, honestly,
when you're on the Facebook page.
I'm getting the top fan badge,
yes!
And it's like, do I want to take this because it's like she's my homie? Like you've got some Tin Roof dates coming up, right?
Yeah, we're in Indy on the 21st of this month. Yeah, and then where are we? Can't keep up. South Carolina on May 13th, May 12th. I think it's May 12th. I don't know. But hoping we're going to get in that circuit a little bit and do some of the artist stuff.
It's a great circuit because it's like you're playing downtown, but the pay is still solid, but you're playing to different groups of people.
Everything's so lined up for you when you go do it. So hopefully that's going to be happening. We've got some festival stuff coming up.
Really?
Hopefully CCMF is looking like it's a go. So it's
really?
fun.
Dude, that is a...
Yeah.
Now, have you attended that as a concert goer?
I actually have never been. And I'm like weird. I like to support, but I'm kind of at a point of like until I've like earned my spot of doing it, that's when I want to go for the first time. It's when like I can say I went and I played it. It's just there's something so cool, especially like that's like so big at home being in the Carolinas, and I grew up going to Dirty Myrtle was like the spot. When I was
Dirty Myrtle. We get to that in a second because I've had some times. Matt Sweet Boy has too. We've had some times and we've had some times in Myrtle Beach.
It gets wild.
It does. It's a place of its own. But like CCMF, that for those who don't know, Carolina Country Music Festival. That was something that I knew about up in New York when I'm like in my local circuit, where you see like there's Watershed that goes on out at the gorge out in the West Coast. There's Stagecoach, there's Tortuga, obviously CMA Fest. You've got some stuff in Ohio. You've got Rock the South. CCMF is as big of a festival in the country music world, like worldwide. People come from all over the world for that festival to be in Myrtle for that.
And now they have one in Jersey too.
Yep, which I think I'm going to be going to that.
Are
which
you?
I'm very excited about because it's in Wildwood, and back in my drinking days, I spent a lot of time on that beach doing a lot of crazy things.
Now you'll like remember it when you go.
What was that?
It'll be a whole new experience.
It will be a whole new experience. I won't be 21 with a group of sorority girls with a bottle of Fireball in a motel. Seeing Tim McGraw on the 4th of July. That was a wild show too.
That's amazing.
It was Tim McGraw, Hunter Hayes, and Maggie Rose.
Wow.
On 4th of July at Wildwood Beach, and I wasn't even planning on going. This group, I was living in Jersey, and this group of girls from back home in New York were like, "Hey Matt, you want to come to this?" And they literally pulled up to the college radio station. I hopped in with a handle of Fireball and a backpack, and
let's go, ladies.
And we had us a time. It was crazy.
That sounds so fun.
It was crazy. You said you went up to New York City. What were you doing up there?
I just never been there before. So spontaneous. I was sitting there
Brook Lee shit.
Here we are. Still alive, it's okay. Yeah. We had brunch, Anne-Marie from Guam, and I had brunch. She's like, yeah, I'm going to New York City. Because for a job, she'll come here, and then she'll go to a bunch of different cities. And she's like, I'm going to New York City on Tuesday. It's a Sunday afternoon. I was like, I've never been. She's like, oh, do you want to go? I was like, sure. So then I went for like 2 days. And stayed in Times Square, and it was cool. I just never been there before, so just walked around and hung out. Didn't really do anything crazy, but it was fun. What
was like the weirdest thing about, was it, because whenever I talk to Southerners and they go up there, they're like, dude, you can't see the sky.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's skyscrapers.
I never even thought about that. Now that you say that, you really couldn't. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not super country. I didn't come from that, but I'm also not a city person at all. So I couldn't live there. I could not do that.
Yeah,
I had a couple people spit at me. That was interesting.
You had people spit at you?
This guy spit at me. Yeah.
For what?
I don't know.
Who would spit at you?
Just having a bad day, I guess. I don't know.
Of all people.
I was just walking.
Did you go on
eat my bagel, I guess, and just spit at me. It's like, all right, cool. Sorry, bud. Let
me make this bagel more New York for you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's still it is. Good.
Did you go on a train when you were up there? Did you do the subway thing?
Yes. Yes, I did.
The subway? Did you see any subway creatures?
No, it wasn't really too crazy.
So our subway creatures are like the panhandlers on Broadway, like the people outside the bars on Broadway.
Yeah.
We have those on the streets too in New York.
Well, that's you spit on me.
Was one of those.
Yeah.
One of New York's
he
finest.
was just on the street though, not on the train.
Because the trains are crazy.
I was so confused. I can't even drive here in my own car. That was really hard for me.
And there's all the different number lines and all the different letter lines.
I had no idea what it was.
You have the 5 boroughs and the this and that. I don't even know it, and I'm from up there.
Yeah,
and I get lost.
I enjoyed the Chinatown or whatever. And
Chinatown? Did you go to Canal Street?
Yes.
Did you go where there's all the little shops?
Yes,
and it's all
I
the
got cannolis
stuff?
at that. Oh wait, what are you? No.
I'm talking about Canal Street where there's the little shops and it's the guys being like, look at this Rolex, and you.
Oh, y'all did. It's all cheap.
It's all it's all the bootleg
I had
Louis
to get
Vuitton.
Another bag because I.
Oh, did you get one?
So much stuff. Yeah.
What'd you get?
Oh, just a bunch of random stuff. I don't even know. I like clothes and just whatever. It was cheap.
Did you haggle at all?
I was
you gotta haggle.
Game. We talked a good game. My friend was with me and she'd been before, so she knew what she was doing. I was like, okay, I can get on board with this.
The best I've done, I've gotten a guy down from $150 on a Rolex down to 45.
Yeah,
and clearly it wasn't a real Rolex, but it was a Canal Street Rolex.
I love that.
They used to have bootleg DVDs down there back in those days. That was where it's always been like that little section of New York.
I was talking about, I don't remember the name of it, but they have all these little restaurants, and there was the best cannolis I've ever
Little
had.
Italy.
Yes. Yeah, Little Italy.
It's funny because you have Little Italy and Chinatown on the same street.
Okay, that's why I was I swear they were right next to each other.
It's the same section.
Amazing. Yeah, those were so good.
Yeah, you get lots of noodles out there because you get all the Chinese noodles and you get all the pasta and
Had some
the chicken parm.
dumplings.
Yeah, I was up north this past week. I went up there with Nikki T. Took him up to Delaware.
Heck
Stayed with my
yeah.
family, which my mom says hello, by the way.
Mom. I love that woman.
The family loves you.
Really?
Yeah, you're one of the
love
favorites.
them.
You forever. Cause have you been over for you haven't been to a pasta dinner
No,
yet?
it's awful.
Okay,
It looks great.
Next time they'll be down in a few weeks.
Okay.
And
it on my
you can if you're in town, we'll make sure to have you for
if
the pasta dinner because she's always like, "How's Brooke doing?" I love Brooke. I love
my
her.
family's Italian too.
I love her.
So...
I love her mom. We talked at Live Vogue.
My mom, she's gonna listen to this and be so happy.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, I need some pasta. My dad's side is Italian. They're from Buffalo.
Yeah,
so
that's
they're
right.
way up there.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Yes. But they're Italian and the pasta is amazing. So I mean, that's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, it's
That's like New York.
It's pretty. I mean, so I've been going to the gym a lot recently. We've been trying to get better, and I dropped down a couple lbs and was starting to feel good. Then I go back home.
Oh, yep.
I go back home.
Every time.
You get there and we just keep high quality pizza in the fridge in the garage. There's just backup pizza for late night munchies. It's there for that reason. And the tin foil's right next to it, so you can just pop it in the toaster real quick. And then, dude, we had chicken parm, chicken marsala, this roast thing. I ate crab cakes. I had a lobster roll. I mean, dude, I lost this weight, and then I went up there and I put on more weight than when I started. I was like, damn.
That's the worst.
Stopped at Sheetz, stopped at Wawa, stopped at Pals twice. Once on the way up, once on the way back. Have you had Pals before?
No.
Well, next time you drive, do you drive going on 24 and then you dip down to Georgia to get up to Carolina, or do you just take 40?
40.
Just 40? Okay. Do you go through Bristol and stuff, or do you dip off on the 75 before that?
I think 75.
I was gonna say usually I would figure you'd be going to Asheville and all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're ever in East Tennessee, Johnson City, Bristol, the Tri-State Kingsport, they've got this burger chain called Pals, and I've mentioned it on it before. McElwain's probably rolling his eyes over there because I've talked about it so much.
Here we go again.
Back on Pals. We're right on schedule, sweet boy. Nikki T put it perfectly this weekend. He was like, Pals is what Whataburger wants to be. Nikki T doesn't like Whataburger. He's an In-N-Out guy.
I don't know. I mean, In-N-Out, their fries.
In-N-Out's great. In-N-Out to me is
It's-
the best of all of it, but Pals is really good. But I say that to say the gym thing's been tough. I got back in it today, and I felt good.
Doing
but
better than me today. I did not.
I see you post the workout videos and shit.
Full on honesty, I moved here and when I moved here, I was not crazy shape, but I'm small, but I was small when I moved here. I felt great. But then I started doing this Broadway thing and your schedule's whack anyways being in this industry. But there's no such thing as consistency at all when you're playing downtown. And you're playing until 3, you don't sleep. Because for me, I played till 3. And then, if I wanted to work out, I'd go at 5, and then I'd go to bed, and then I'd wake up and write. It was nuts. It was nuts. And I'd eat whatever I could because you're broke and you're working late. So I ended up putting on, a lot when I moved here. And, I felt horrible for a year. And then this year, I remember texting you. I was like, all right, we're doing this, Matt. We got to hold each other to it. But I started going to Burn Boot Camp and, really being consistent about it. And, I feel so good.
Awesome.
It feels so much better, but I'm with you on the eating. It's hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, and because I used to be
I love good food.
Because I used to be downtown and get out at 3 a.m. too when I was doing security.
Right.
And
it's so hard.
You drive out to the highway, and what's on the left hand side open 24 hours?
There it is.
Fucking McDonald's. It's open.
Or Cookout, right? That is open till 4 or 5 now.
Cookout's open till 4 or 5 now?
I think 4 on the weekend.
Sheesh.
Not everyone, but that one right by Broadway, yeah, dangerous.
Yeah, and then I used to go to the diner. You ever been in there?
Yeah, I went there yesterday.
There you go. That's how you know.
There we go.
That's how you know you might be a downtown employee if you've been to the diner on a Sunday night.
Yep.
Well, is it still like a pretty cool vibe? I haven't been in there in years because it's still
I've
like
only been there a couple
multi-level.
times, but yeah, it's like 6 floors.
What floor were you on? Because it's different thing every floor.
Yes, we were on the 5th one yesterday.
Because the first one's breakfast.
Yes.
One of them has sushi.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
One of them has sushi.
I need to
One
go
of them had
floor
sushi. Because I used to go, it was all the staff from Whiskey Row. So it was like the bartenders and the servers, and then all of us security guys. So like the little bartenders would be like, I want some sushi. And it's like, it's 4 a.m. What the fuck are you eating sushi for?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then do you remember Hermitage Cafe, or was that already closed by the time you came up here?
I don't remember it.
So Hermitage Cafe was like over in that area, and it was like
now.
a late night place, cash
been there.
only. Because they had that's one thing. I think the late night food scene in Nashville could be better.
Oh yeah.
I want like the fact that there's. I mean, I get why there's not a Waffle House downtown because there's already enough fights at both Waffle House and on Broadway. You put a Waffle House on Broadway,
it's gonna get crazy.
It'll get real crazy. Well, you could definitely get some interesting content there.
There really isn't a lot at all.
Like, I want to open like a Jersey style Greek diner down here.
Ooh.
Like where the menu's like the size of the Bible kind of thing. You ever seen one? You've seen those before, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like,
I think you should do it.
Yeah, it's just the money to do it. I need an investor. If anybody wants to help me open a diner down here, we will
support
gladly.
you. I'll eat it.
Sweet Boy will work there as well. We'll have the whole team. It'll be great. And you were talking about writing songs and the grind of being here, and a goal that a lot of that people have when they come here and want to write songs is to be able to get paid to write songs. And you've in the last couple of years, again, like you said, it's been a roller coaster. I remember that night you played at my round and your mom was there because my mom was there too that night.
Yeah.
And you talked and you mentioned on stage how it's been up and down.
My first year here was probably the worst year of my life. Honestly, I moved here. No one told me I knew people before I moved, but no one told me how bad it was where I was going. I was living off of Trinity and Dickerson.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And, it was a great situation, to be honest. I moved here with my original drummer that used to play for me, and we were like, we're going to get a place we can jam at where it doesn't bother people.
Yeah. And
the rent, we didn't want it to be crazy. The rent was cheap. We were on the corner. Our neighbor was old. He, couldn't hear anything. It was perfect. And then, 30 months into living here, I came home, and my roommate was home and she called me. Our windows were smashed in. So my house got robbed. Guitar was stolen. My laptop was stolen. I had a lot of money stolen because I just got off the road from that weekend.
Yeah.
So it was really rough. So after 3 or 4 months of being here, you're already trying to find somewhere new to live. And then my car got totaled that summer. And yeah. It was a lot. Everybody's cars get broken into. I try not to complain about it, but it was definitely a big awakening moving here. I've lived on my own since I was 18. I moved here as soon as I turned 21, and then when all this stuff started happening, I was like, wow, this is crazy. But it was a lot, but I kept playing. I wrote a lot of songs about it and started doing the Broadway thing and more. Then ended up moving West Side, and I worked at Free People for a month because I play this show every year in December at home for Christmas, and I wanted this outfit, and I was like, I'm just gonna work there and then I'll get to buy the outfit.
Yeah.
And I worked in Green Hills, and it was the night of the CMAs of 2021, 2021. A writer named Jess Kane came in. I didn't know her, but I dressed her for the CMAs, and I was like, can you please follow me? You don't know me. I don't know anybody. Just follow me on Instagram. No big deal. And she followed me, and then, a couple days later, was like, hey, I ended up telling my publisher, Kara Jackson, about you, and just so you know if she reaches out. So we ended up getting together in December of 21. And, it was just conversations. She hooked me up with Paul Eversold, who does some producing with Morgan Wade, and Morgan Wade is one of my favorites, so that was really cool. And worked with him for a while, and I just got to a point where he was really great. I just felt like I needed more direction, and I called Kara and we started talking more. And then about a year after our first meeting, I ended up signing with Spirit with Kara. Now
she's a great place to be.
Which it's been, man. Derek Wells is obvious. He's amazing. Obviously incredibly talented guy. Insane in the industry, but just he's such a humble, great human being who has been so good to me. That whole team has. But before I signed, him, Kara, and a couple other people from Spirit came to my late shift on Broadway to tell me they were going to offer me. And I was just that so many people in town like gave me hell for working on Broadway, and like I didn't get a lot of appreciation, which is fine. But for them to come downtown and say that was really, really special to me.
That's them coming down to you, cutting your teeth, paying your dues, and
It
being
was really
like,
cool.
hey, we want to help you not have to do this as much and get you further along because we fucking believe in you.
Yeah,
Like, it meant
a lot to me.
That's huge.
Yeah, and I remember Derek.
What was the reaction? Like, did you know that they were coming, or did you just see them kind of roll in?
I hadn't actually met Derek yet. So Derek and I had emailed back and forth. Kara and I had gotten pretty close, just like through meeting and stuff. And Derek actually I played in the round that night because Derek was like, when are you playing tonight? And I said, in the round. And I remember, I think I said something to you. I was like, somebody might be coming. Oh, my God. And he didn't show up. And I was like, whatever. And then he came to Broadway. And I was like, oh, my gosh, this is wild.
Of all places,
but
come to Midtown for the writers round or go to Broadway on a Tuesday night.
And I was like, man, this is really cool. And I had like my I had like a 5-gallon tip bucket. Like I was determined. I'm like walking around, and he came up to me and gave me a hug and like introduced himself and said what he said. And I remember I just dropped the bucket and I was like, "What'd you say?" And then he just left, and I was like, "All right." And I had like 3 more hours to play. I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now, but this is crazy. But it's been awesome, and like he's told me since day one, as much as you push, I'm going to push. And like as hard as you work, I'm going to work right there with you.
Well, he better be ready to put in some work then, because that's what you do.
No,
You're a workhorse,
I
girl.
like really pride myself on it. And I think it's a lot of my upraising, but also like I've been doing this again since I was 15 and booking my own shows and like doing all of these things and getting the insight on it. So I'm like, I will outwork. Like, let's go. I want to work. I will work as hard as I can and make things happen. But it's nice to have a team. Finally, it's such a weight lifted.
So what does the team look like? So you've got the publishing deal.
Yeah.
You got management as well.
So right now, Kara is managing me, which is something new for her, which is exciting because it's like there's no boundaries.
Well, it's cool because it's new for her and new for you.
Yeah, but she's working so hard.
You guys are learning together, and she was the one that believed in you to kind of start all these wheels going.
It's been really special, like hearing the things that she's said, like in meetings, or people will come up to me and say things that I'm just like, man, like this girl's got my back, and this is really, really special and really cool. So, yeah, she's my publisher, and then kind of playing the management role right now. Derek is producing everything, and I'm doing artist development with Derek as well. So that's been really fun.
That's a good.
It's so great.
It's a good team to have around.
And they're awesome. They're just family. Everyone's so kind, and just everyone works hard and works for each other and supports each other, and it's really special. You play Whiskey Jam, everyone's going to be there from your team. Everybody. Y'all the writers, everyone. It's amazing. So.
Yeah. And there's been since that, have other things kind of started to roll as well?
Yeah. We've had some pretty good meetings recently.
Isn't that wild to think about? Like from the day that your house got broken into and you were like, what the fuck is going on?
It's
what am I doing
insane.
here? And now you're going on 16th Ave and meeting with different facets of the business that are like, we want to be in the Brook Lee business.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, it's been cool, and like I've had a couple agency meetings, so like hopefully, like you said, like getting on the road more. And like one of them, the first meeting I had, I'm like, did you find out because of Spirit, or like how did you figure out who I am? And it was his aunt or like some relative heard me on Broadway and sent a video.
Okay, so that is a testimonial right there.
It's insane.
I say Broadway gives me PTSD from being a bouncer down there for so long, and you get it.
I get it.
Especially being a young female on Broadway, you deal with all kinds of shit.
It's awful.
But look, you've mentioned 5 or 6, maybe even 7 since we've started this episode of cool things that have transpired from you busting your ass on that circuit of bars.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of downfalls from it. There's a lot of bad experiences that I've had. I've had to deal with a lot of people that in a lot of situations I wish I never had to deal with, or things that I wish I never had to see. But that's also like life, and if you're going to be on the road, like things like that are going to happen. And everything that's happened, like good out of that, trumps it all. Like I'm so thankful for the opportunities, and like it's helped my following, it's helped my craft a lot. I mean, I've figured out a lot about myself doing it, and like
what? What are some things you think you figured out?
I mean, obviously, like, honestly, my morals is one big thing. And, like, I don't know. I just see, like, how some of these people down there, like, get themselves into situations or how people get treated down there. And it's like, I don't know. I've got a lot more, not necessarily confidence, but, like, I'm not scared to stand up for myself when it comes to situations anymore, which I've always been, like, so nice. And now I'm like, I'm nice, but, like, screw off. Like, I'm too good for, like, and not in, like, a cocky way. It's just, like, I don't know. Knowing how to hold your own ground, I think, is super important. Getting tough skin, and you get that very quickly down there. It's a make or break thing for sure.
Yeah.
And so that was tough. But also, like, the experiences, the Guam stuff, and the road trip to Colorado. Like, honestly, if I would have got offered this deal like a year ago, I know I wouldn't have been ready. And I told Kara that from our first meeting. I'm like, I really want to get in this. I'm not there yet, and I'm not ready. And it was very important. You're always going to learn more about yourself, but I wanted to know myself and kind of my brand before I stepped into anything because I wanted something to stand on. And going on all these trips and doing all these spontaneous things and figuring out my wild child self has helped so much. Now I can go in and be like, yeah, this is me. And my song, like, you'll hear when these songs come out, like, a lot of them are really, like, being written in that direction, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, who have you been co-writing with a lot? Because
Brindley Addington's my number one.
Brindley is
I love Brindley.
The man. And he's one of my favorite guys. I've gotten to know him from being down, from being in town, but two in Key West, and and Brindley and Joey Hyde and
Joey's
like the crew that. And it's cool because those guys have been around in town for a while, and you pick up so much from being in a room with them, I'm sure.
But you know what's so cool about Joey and Brindley? Actually, our first write, we talked about this, is both of them used to do the Broadway thing too.
Yeah.
And so it's like, they, I think, have a lot of appreciation for it, and we've come up with some really cool stuff because of it, and it's been fun. Yeah, Brindley's my number one. I love Joey too. I definitely
Joey's a vibe.
have a sound coming out with those two.
Yeah, we've had Joey on the podcast before.
And that was fun.
He is a whole ass vibe.
He is so much fun.
I love Joey, and I love that he's doing the artist in like his project that he put out.
Yeah, it's so good.
And those guys, and it's like you're being produced by Derek, but Joey's got a great ear when it comes to stuff, and that's huge.
Yeah,
and they're guys. It's sometimes I'm sure the dynamic can be interesting of being a female artist or a writer writing with dudes, but then there's certain guys that have had that experience, like them with Marin, and
I'm like,
where the chemistry's
I love
solid.
With guys, I think I connect a lot more with guys than I
do
the girls. Yeah, I don't know why. I just always have been like that. But I'm also like, I like to say things that like guys would say. Like I don't know. I'm not like I don't like getting all girly with stuff, so it's fun because they'll like get that out of me, and I'm like, it's cool. But yeah, Brindley's been awesome. I recently started riding with Ryan Beaver, which has been fun.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We've got him and Brindley, we've got some special stuff, I think, on the horizon, and I'm really excited. But it's been fun. Every day I'm meeting someone new, which is really weird and a lot, but it's fun. I mean, like before this deal, I was riding a lot, but I was riding with a lot of the same people because I just didn't know a lot of people. And now it's like every day is somebody new. It's just cool, but it's a lot. It's a little overwhelming at times. Is
it interesting? Have you had moments now where it's like you're writing and you're the artist in the room?
Oh, yeah. Most of the time it has been like that, actually.
How cool is that?
It's wild. It's so cool. And like Derek and I had a meeting not too long ago and we were listening through everything, and I'm just, it's really cool to see the shift of songs in the last year and the songs we're getting now. And like, yeah. And I think that's what's so special about finding your crew. Like Brindley gets it. Like he gets me and he gets my story and what I want to put out. And so it's exciting. I can't wait to get music out.
I can't wait for
these songs are getting, I can't wait.
I can't wait for do we have, so it'll be like, we're soonish.
I think so. We're in the talks. I don't really have an exact...
Or is it pending on, like, meetings and stuff that's going on, too?
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Just taking some more meetings and trying to figure out what we can we throw someone else in the production mix? What are we, And also just, we've been beating songs, and so when we had our meeting in the beginning of the year, we had, like, 2 songs that we were 100% on. And now I went in Derek's office. He has, like, this whiteboard, and we always put on there what songs we're going to do next. And it's grown so much. And I'm like, man, this is great. So I think we're getting closer. Hopefully
Where would you say your sound's at right now? Because I was like obviously you've got some songs that are out now, and
they're not.
Hey, I like them, and the part of the reason that I like them is because I remember like when you put out "Well Runs Dry." I remember that was one of the first songs that you played when you played our round. I think we were one of the first rounds to have you too, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And what I love about getting to host the writers rounds and becoming friends with all you guys and girls that write songs all the time and perform is every time that I've had you, especially like over the last 2 years. The songs just keep growing and your sound just becomes more and more kind of defined. Like, okay, Brooke is figuring out what she wants to say.
It's a good feeling. Yeah. I mean, we've kind of said like this Miranda, Sheryl Crow, Brothers Osborne, Grace Potter-y, kind of like Grace Potter country in a sense. I like old stuff, but like I love rock and stuff. Like I'm a big band person. Obviously, I started in rock, so trying to find the like right mix of all of these things.
Well, I feel like right now is the best time for that.
Yeah.
If you look at the country market,
the doors are wide open.
The doors are wide open to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I remember before I moved here. It's gonna drive me nuts, but I can't remember who it was. I went to a round or showcasing this guy, and I were talking, and he's like, "You don't see it yet." But, like, rock and all that grit and stuff, it's coming back. You just don't see it. And then, like, now living in town, like, my first year, like, a lot of the rounds were about it, but everyone else wasn't hearing on the outside. And now everybody's like, oh, my God, like, the rock stuff is back. The real writing is back.
There's a reason one of our biggest nights at Live Oak, and you were part of the first one, was Butt Rock Night.
Yeah.
Like, people love that shit.
They love it.
People love that shit. And also, I mean, like, you see where the lines are kind of... People look like the word Americana has a lot of different meanings. Yep. Some people are like, it's just real country, but the industry doesn't want to call it country, so they call it Americana. But it's like a mixture of like folk and storytelling and then some rock and stuff. Like there's so many different lanes within country music right now, within music in general. Yeah. That someone like you who's got a classic kind of vibe, but you're as young as you are, like you've got so much room to run and do whatever you want to do. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Cool too that like there's room for this sound and stuff, but also there's a lot of room for diversity. And like on one, like I hear so many records now, I'm like every song is different. Like this is this person, but it's different, and that's exciting for me because I feel like a lot of stuff I've been doing is like one song is on a whole nother spectrum of the other song that we write, but I'm like these are both so me. Yeah. And now it's like you can do that and it's okay. I mean, who cares? Do it anyways, but I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
That's awesome, and we've got some stuff coming up tonight. We've got, which obviously this episode will be out after this happens. But
if you weren't
there, be at the next one because it's going to be a success. It's going to be the biggest event in Hermitage, Tennessee this evening. We've got our first McElwain Monday at the Rusty Nail.
It's gonna get wild.
And then we've got Key West coming up. Were you down there last year?
I've never been.
You didn't go last year? Okay, so
I'm so excited.
Last year, you're gonna thrive down there. Like, cause your vibe.
That's very my vibe.
I think you're gonna have the best time, and I look forward to having a great time with you down there. We're doing those the happy hour rounds down at Island Dogs. I call it Island Dogs, like Island New York. Yeah, like New York. But it's. Have you been down to that part of Florida before?
I've never been to Key West.
Well, you've been to Guam, so it's like islandy. You've been to Guam. Yeah. But Key West is cool because it's like you're out in Midtown going around, like, but you're at the beach. I'm so excited. And it's just the vibes are just immaculate. And you're how many events are you playing down there? You're doing quite a few, right?
4.
Wow, they got you a busy schedule.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly. I have to look it up. But yeah, we've got 3 or 4, including ours. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, which is gonna be really cool, and we appreciate you like being a part of like the family that we've got.
I'm so thankful for it, and I like to tell you, Nikki T, all this. Like, I remember when Nikki T reached out to me about playing Raised Rowdy for the first time, and it was my mom's birthday that night. And I was supposed to go back to North Carolina, and I was like, sorry, Mom. Like, you don't understand. This is such a big deal. Like, I have to play. And, like, she was so excited. Like, this is the best birthday present ever.
Rowdy
like, you
get
to play Raised Rowdy, Rowdy on the Road. Yeah. Yeah, but it was really special when like I got asked to do it, and it's special anytime. Like I love what you guys are creating, and I tell y'all that all the time. It's really exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of it. It's an honor, honestly.
It's fun to be a part of the community, honestly, and there's such a cool crop of folks that have moved to town over the last couple of years, where and especially the females. You're yourself. I think of another Carolina girl and Shelby Ray.
Yes, I love
Cassidy
her.
Daniels. That's one of my favorite rounds when I put you three together.
God almighty.
What did I do? Was the three of you guys and Avery.
Avery. Yeah. Those
Avery
girls
Valesky.
can sing.
Well, so can you.
No, I mean it's great.
It's
I
like
love
a
it.
crew.
I love it.
Do you have like a little, like, who would you say your crew is if you're going out into Midtown? Who's like your crew of folks
Man,
you're
I
going
feel like
out
I'm
with?
still figuring it out. You know, I was thinking about this on the way here. I just had a suspicion you were going to ask me this. And I don't really feel like I have a set. Obviously, you mentioned like Reed. Like Noah Hicks was someone I knew before I moved here, and he introduced me to Reed, and like Reed's girlfriend's my best friend. So like I found like that, but I'm like honestly out by myself a lot, and then whoever's out, I'm just like, hey, what's going on? Like I feel like I'm always by myself, just bopping around like on my own schedule. But the last several months, a lot of it's been hanging out with people like from Spirit, just getting to know that crew. But I don't really feel that's probably not a good answer. But I don't really feel like I have a solid.
Well, also like you're at the stage now where you've got some stuff going, and that first. And you're playing downtown as much as you were too. That eats up a lot of time. That eats up a lot of nights, a lot of days. If you get invited to go out day drinking on a Sunday, you're sleeping until 2 or 3 because you've got to do a closing shift on that Sunday night. You don't have time to fuck off at Red Door.
No.
Like
no,
you're not. And also, when you first move here, that's how you meet people is by going out.
I feel like there's a lot of trial and error of who you're going to be around too. I've had a lot of people that I've hung out with for an amount of time, and then you just everybody grows and does their thing until you find the people that stick. And I just feel like I just haven't fully found that yet, which is awesome. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, it's part of being the wild child too, and going out.
It's so me, man. I'm just all over the place all the time.
Who'd you like really grow up listening to? Like what was teenage or even earlier than that? So like your first you remember you getting your first iPod?
I do. But my first iPod.
What was it?
Well, my dad he's a gym coach and like has the lost and found at the end of the year. And there was one of these little
the shuffles?
Yes, it was a shuffle.
Was it like
the green one?
Was it like
the tall
the long one?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he brought it home and he was like, no one ever took it. Do you want it? And I was like, sure. And in order to download music, I had to erase everything that was on it and then put my iTunes on it. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I just listened to whatever was on it.
And back then, those didn't have a screen on it, so you just hit play and it would
whatever you came on, that's what you were jamming to.
What was on that iPod?
I know about every word to every Lil Wayne song there.
Dude, like the Amelie, like the Carter 3?
Like the OGs. Yeah. It was great. And like I remember my dad, and I'm probably in like, I don't know, like fifth grade, if that, when he gave me this iPod. So I'm like
singing Lollipop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I remember he got offered free tickets to an Usher concert, and I was in like 5th or 6th grade. They were like 5th row. And he turned him down because he was like, I can't take my kids. I'm like, you have no idea like what you've done. Like you gave me this iPad. All right. It's like, we can go. But yeah, so I grew up, I grew up on a lot more than Lil Wayne, but that was my first iPod experience.
What was the first CD you ever bought?
Oh, man.
Or did you never buy CDs? Because you're a little younger than I am.
I did. I had a bunch of them. First one, honestly, I think it might have been like Zach Brown or something.
That Foundation record in like 05 with Chicken Fried and Sweet Amy. And
yes. Yeah, because my dad and I used to listen to Zach Brown a lot. My parents are divorced. And he had some songs like Highway 20 Ride and some stuff like that my dad and I used to listen to all the time. So I feel like that's probably, I don't know. I had some weird music. My first concert was Hannah Montana and the Jonas Brothers.
Okay, mine was Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
And then
I'd be a little more proud to say that.
And then, well, but I was in like the
It was also the best concert It was so good.
Dude, I mean, Hannah Montana is just Miley Cyrus, so that's still
and you
one
got
of the
the
top
best of both worlds because you
literally got the best of both worlds.
Because it was Miley and Hannah. Yeah, it was so good. My dad went with me, and we had a blast.
That's a good dad.
Yeah, we had fun. I loved all that, but I did a lot of like Stevie Nicks was one that I was Joan Jett.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big thing. When I moved out. I was 18 when I moved out, and then Ashley McBride became mine, like, number one, and she's still, like, super up there. I remember when I moved to Raleigh, I tried to go to college, and it just wasn't it.
NC State?
No, I did a dual enrollment thing at UNC Charlotte.
Okay.
And I was there for less than a semester, and I, like, never went to class because I was at bars listening to music all the time. And I was, this is ridiculous. What am I doing? So I moved to Raleigh. And I remember I went in my apartment, I hit shuffle, and Girl Going Nowhere had like just came out, or it was pretty new, and I was like, all right, this is it, this is the song, so I'm gonna make this happen, and that has been like a song that's got me to Nashville, and like now I write with Jeremy Bussey all the time, who love that man character, but he wrote that song, and it's just been really special it's wild, full circle.
Yeah. Ashley's stuff is incredible.
I love it. It's cool.
And you fit in that kind of vein too, of the girl that's been just grinding and hustling. You've got stories to tell. Yeah. Just like she did.
That's my thing. And that's why I travel so much. And that's why I say yes to everything. I'm very big on like, you could die tomorrow. And if I'm really broke. I just got done. I have like negative $20 right now. Like, it's bad. But if I die tomorrow, I'm like, I live the coolest life ever. And I can't bring that with me. So whatever. My mom isn't the proudest of my bank account, but I got the coolest experiences. And
but it's already been like kind of like stuff's been happening and been working for you.
If everything goes the way I'm hoping it goes, then I'll be fine eventually.
It's hard to count out the dog that won't quit. Yeah, like you don't have that quit.
That's what everybody has told me. Growing up, it's like, if you have the talent, like, that's great. But if you have the work and you have the drive and you just don't ever stop. So many people, I feel like they go, and like they're like, okay, well, I'm stepping out of line and I don't want to do this anymore. And it's just like, you can't do that. You just got to keep going. And I've always been told that, and just what I live by. And like the traveling and stuff, like that's how I write songs. If I didn't have those experiences, then what am I writing about? Yeah. So, even though I'm broke, I'm investing into stories to write about.
Yeah, I mean, there's songs that are about that kind of thing. Like Muscadine has the song "Dying for a Living," like or make like just the like there's certain storytelling that's just part of the grind and the musical experience. Like I know guys that before they broke out, they were sleeping in their van. Like it's. You see a lot of that stuff, and then it makes it when you have those moments when you have the spirit thing happen, and you take these big meetings and you're in these rooms where you're like, I never thought I'd get in here. Yeah. It makes it worth that. It makes you feel that much better about those moments.
Song called Motel Livin' that's probably gonna come out. We like kind of been pushing on TikTok a little bit.
How is TikTok for you? Do you like doing the social media stuff?
I don't enjoy it
because you're an old soul.
Yeah, I feel like a weirdo.
Like you're not a techie person to me. Like you're not. That's not your vibe.
Absolutely not. But I just try to be as real as I can on there. I have a lot of drafts of me like talking, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, this is just weird. I can't imagine people listening to this right now. But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm like, if it helps you out, it helps you out, and it is what it is. But I don't love it. But we're pushing a song called Motel Livin', and it's kind of all about that, like, living in motels through life, and, like, you gotta live these cheap experiences, and you gotta go through these hard times, but the end result of that is gonna be something really, really cool. It already is. It's really beautiful to see everything that's been happening, so we're just getting started. It's gonna be good.
That's freaking awesome. And we're gonna wrap up with some touring and some I guess road tripping.
Okay.
So what's your favorite of like the truck stops on the road?
Stops? Oh gosh.
Because if you've gone out Midwest, you've seen them all.
Yeah, but I don't know. Oh man.
You're driving on I-40 through BFE, and you see a sign. You see a Loves, a Pilot, a Flying J, or a TA. Where are you stopping?
I don't know. I feel like I catch myself in those pilots a lot.
You're a pilot girl.
But I don't know that I necessarily like it the best.
I was gonna say pilot to me. I've grown. Loves to me is where
was gonna be my next.
Loves is where it's at. But then it also depends on what.
I think
food,
I just am used to seeing
what food is attached. Like I'm not going to Flying J. Flying J, you can get a slice of pizza, but you have a chance of getting into a greasy Denny's depending on where my munchie level's at.
I don't know.
And that's a scary place to be.
That's a good question for me. I don't know. I'm also the person that I don't like to stop.
Oh, you're that kind of driver.
So honestly, I just said one that you just listed just to see what your reaction would be. And I picked the wrong one.
Okay, well, what are you getting if you stop and snack?
I don't know.
If you stop and snack, what are you getting? What's your snack?
Chicken tenders.
You're a chicken tenders girl.
And I'll get a big thing of them and just eat them the whole way home.
And you're a Southern girl, so you dip in that shit in ranch.
Honey mustard too.
And honey mustard. Okay.
Person. Yeah, or if you get Cheez-Its and the peanut M&Ms, mix those. Oh my God, so
Cheez-Its and peanut M&Ms together.
They're so good.
Together?
They're the white cheddar ones, and then peanut M&Ms. Oh my God! It is a game changer.
All right,
so good.
McElwain, make a note of that. We're gonna try that later.
That's what
we're gonna have a big bowl of that at McElwain Monday just for you. Well, I'm gonna go to Walmart and get it just for you. We're gonna hand that out. Also, this will be airing after McElwain. You got to tell her our plan for our attire tonight. Oh. Talk in that microphone.
Do we have a dress code?
You guys wear whatever you want. We're happy.
I want in on this.
We're happy to have you guys and girls playing, and we're grateful for your supporting of our degeneracy. But McElwain, for tonight, the attire is.
So I think we're doing jeans, maybe like a casual button-up dress shirt type deal with a sport coat, and I'll have my cowboy hat.
McElwain was like, I want to wear my dress clothes when I host.
McElwain's trying to get somebody tonight.
And we have according to our boy Sean over there, we do have the Fireball girls coming out tonight, like the promotional models for Fireball. Which is, again...
That's why you want to dress a little nicer.
I'm going to get me a Fireball girl. I drink enough of it. They might as well sponsor me.
That might as well. Oh my God. I mean, we got 2 bottles over there.
We got 2 bottles over there.
Possibly another one under there.
I love it.
Yeah, tonight's going to be...
It's going to be a good time.
Going to be wild. What are some goals for you for the rest of this year?
Travel. I want to play more. Play as much. Getting music out. Music out is my number one thing. For sure. Hopefully, by the summer, we're at least in studio. But definitely getting music out and then just playing more shows. That's all on my radar right now.
What's a dream venue for you?
Oh, my dream venue. Well, you know what? It kind of still is similar. And you can understand this. Coyote Joe's has always been, because that's your home, and you live there and you can't get in until you move here. It's ridiculous. But I love that spot. I opened up there for Cody Webb a year ago, 2 years ago, but I really want to get in there and headline it and just sell out Coyote Joe's. That is the dream thing for me.
Yeah, you play a show at Cody Joe's, I will drive out to Charlotte for that, because that is one of my favorite.
It's special, especially being from there. It's just different. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy spots, but that one.
Have you done the blind horse? Mm-mm. Oh, have you been to the blind horse? Mm-mm. But you've heard it.
I know about it, but yeah.
So to me, it's fun because it's Coyote Joe's. They're both legendary places.
Yeah.
But you can see the difference of Charlotte, North Carolina, and Greenville, South Carolina when you go, because they usually book you back to back because it's Alan and Steve and the guys that own that.
Oh, good old Alan.
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 We love Alan Presley. That's our guy.
He's the man.
He's good people. Hey, Alan, Alan always likes it when I come in. He's like, Matt, it's so good to see you.
I love it.
Get Brooke Lee at Coyote Joe's. And we will come out. We'll bring the whole Raise Rowdy crew. Because we did, with Trey, we brought Nikki T out on the road with us one weekend.
That.
We did Rowdy on the road. And by the end of it, it was good. Nobody died. Nobody ended up in handcuffs. There were definitely opportunities for that.
If you walk out of Coyote Joe's and you don't die or end up in handcuffs, you're doing good.
Well, the blind horse is where our guys get a little wild. Well, the blind horse.
Coyote Joe's, they got me messed up.
Well, so you're from. So your parents are from Buffalo, but I'm sure. Do you have?
My dad's from Buffalo. My mom is from Morganton. On the way in, near Asheville.
Okay.
area.
So you've got some country relatives.
Like Boone area, yeah.
So you've got some country.
Yeah, it's weird.
Appalachia.
I'm like Boone family and then Buffalo.
So I'll put it this way. The Coyote Joe's is like the blind horse to Coyote Joe's. It's like when you go like Easter just happened. When you go to Meemaw's or Mamaw's for Easter and you have your cousin Daryl sitting there. The blind horse is cousin Daryl.
Oh boy.
You love him.
I love Daryl.
You love him, but you never know what's going to happen.
Daryl can be unpredictable.
But you're probably going to have a good time.
It'll be a good time.
That's
at least start out as a good time.
Yeah, it will start out as a good time, and then by the time you get to
whatever
load out,
happens.
Yeah, whatever happens. It's blind horse. They still got the old carpet there. So you've seen a lot of shows at Coyote Joe's, I'm guessing, over the years.
Yeah, I went to my favorite was going to see Kameron Marlowe,
yeah.
And then my friend Mikkel opened up for him. Who he put a song out recently.
Yep.
Yeah, but I've been there for a lot of different stuff, a lot of different shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the spot.
It's fun. Yeah, Cameron there had to be sick.
It's so cool. Like,
because he's
Luke Holmes, Cameron, myself. I'm sure there was a few other in that mix, but us three all opened up for this guy named Daryl Hartwood. We all have done it. And Daryl's now like, what the hell? Like, but he just does it because he like enjoys playing. So it's really cool, like, to be able to see people. Cameron's someone that he just deserves it so much. He's such a good guy, but seeing everything that's happened for him is really special. I'm excited for him. But
yeah,
Carolina, baby.
Carolina can. Honestly, everybody talks about Georgia, and I'm obviously like an honorary Alabamian, given my work history over the last 4 years. I'm very familiar with the Alabama scene, but North and South Carolina are nothing to sleep on. Like between the writers that have come out of there, the acts that have been coming out of there for years. Even look back on guys like Parmalee. Back, obviously, Chief with Eric Church. Look at Lee Bryce. People that have been coming out of those.
There's so many people I'm excited to continue. Casey. I can't wait to see what else she does.
Casey Tyndall.
That's another one. I love riding with Casey.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we had some fun.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do an event that's like all Carolina people.
That would be
do a round thing at Live Oak.
Yeah,
do a Carolina
awesome.
Can.
Come on.
That would be a lot of fun. Might have to do that.
You should do like North Carolina rounds and like South Carolina rounds.
Yeah. There's enough to do that. That'd be sick. What are some of your favorite places to hang out here in town? Do you hang out in East at all? Because I feel like you have like an East Nashville kind of vibe.
I don't really. I can't honestly know. I wish I did more, but when I lived in East, it was just such a bad experience that I never go over there anymore. I need to. Obviously, I mean, I love Midtown. I haven't been here long enough to say I don't like going there. I love it.
Do you still go to Tin Roof quite a bit, or not really? Or did you never really go in there?
I never was a big Tin Roof person, but I love Live Oak. I love going to Live Oak.
We do too. Shout out Hasten and everybody at Live Oak.
Yeah.
And then you go to winners, losers.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Red Door.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready for them to open. I haven't been over there yet. McElwain could probably tell me.
It's open. It's so weird. You walk in and I'm like, this place is huge now.
There's actually places to sit.
Like, this is interesting.
There's actually places to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to Red Door in like a few weeks.
But now it's like a tiny, tiny smoking area.
I know.
Tiny.
We've talked about it on here before. They're pushing out my kind.
Very tweet.
But it happens. What do you like to go to eat around here?
Ooh, food. I'm a foodie.
You are a foodie.
I am a foodie.
You're a Southerner, so I'm sure you love Mexican food.
Mexican is my favorite thing in the world.
Okay, so what's your favorite Nashville Mexican restaurant?
There's a place called El Sombra. It's just across the street. It's my favorite because it's across the street. I can walk there. So that would be my favorite. It's really good and they're really fast and
gets the job
done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You into the whole hot chicken thing or the barbecue thing? Barbecue, you've probably had your whole life.
I'm so used to it.
You probably had your whole life.
Yeah.
That's something you're going to see too as you go out on the road more. They're going to give you like catering or your tour manager, your team will advance everything. And they'll like give you money to get like a buyout to go get what you want in the area, or they'll provide it. And a lot of these down home places be like, hey, this is the best barbecue you ever had. And it's
Shout out to Lancaster's back in North Carolina.
Lancaster's is good. Lancaster's is fire.
Spot.
Lancaster's is fire. But as you get out on the road in the South and the Midwest, be prepared to eat a lot of barbecue, right, McElwain? Lots of barbecue. You'll learn how to fix a pork sandwich very quick.
Oh, I love it. That sounds good.
But yeah, so this year, getting music out.
Heck yeah.
Getting out on the road. more meetings, and just, dude, I'm super proud of you. Like,
Thank
because you've
seen it since the beginning of being here.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and I appreciate your friendship, and like and you're killing it, and there's the ups and downs, and I think you got a lot of ups coming your way,
I'm
and
excited.
you'll be climbing that damn mountain. So I'm proud of you as a friend, and
proud of you.
You're gonna kill it. I can't wait to hear this new music. I can't wait for the world to hear this music, and I can't wait for the world to see you on a stage playing.
Yeah.
All over the damn country, because it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. I'm at the point of it. Like, there's no. I hope it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Hell yeah. Well, where can people find you on those on the socials?
Brook Lee music on everything. Brook with an E, Lee music.
Keep an eye on all your road trips.
Yes. Oh yeah, there will be a lot to come. There always is. You never know. I literally have a packed suitcase in my car at all times in case I just want to leave.
You just keep a suitcase packed?
I sure do. People probably watch my TikToks.
What are the essentials? Like, what do you keep?
Just a couple pairs of jeans and like t-shirt and bathing suit in case you go to a random lake in Kansas and you don't want to wear your pajamas like I did the first time. You know? That's awesome. I love that. Well, y'all be sure to check out our girl Brook Lee, the wild child here in country music. Child, baby. Stay wild. Be sure to check her out. Come out and see her here in town, or if you're going to be up in Indianapolis, she'll be playing at the Tin Roof up there, and she's got some more shows that'll be coming soon. So be sure to, you got a website? Yes, brookleemusic.com. Look at you with a website now, too. It's official. You're fucking doing it. Yeah. Hell yeah. So, yeah, brookleemusic.com. Go check that out and support our girl, Brooke Lee. We love her here at In the Round. Got to give a shout out to our friends from Whaletail Media, Saxman Studios, our boy Mitch Wallace with the Digital Marketing Agency, of course, our friends at Bud Light, and of course, our friends at Big Friendly Productions. For Sweet Boy behind the camera, I'm Matt Burrill. Appreciate you guys watching another episode. Be sure to like, rate, subscribe. Go check out Brooke's music. Go see her on the road. And we will see you next time. This has been the In the Round podcast.